Now, it's not like it's like a bad thing here. Not at all. I don't see that as a bad thing. Ten of Swords is very difficult energy because it talks about a devastating ending. It usually means that the situation, the worst is over with that. You can't get any worse than that. But it does sting. It doesn't just like it's not like having a Brazilian wax. It just like hurts for a couple of minutes and you kind of walk it off. It's more of like, you taking a sword out of your back, or you getting a splinter out, right? You're trying to take that splinter out. Like you have a splinter literally in your skin right now, and you're trying to pull it out. That's what the Ten of Swords is like. Even though it happened, and it's fast and it's quick and it won't happen again, you still have to heal, which is taking out that splinter and allowing yourself to heal. And usually the healing process for taking out splinters is pretty fast, and I should know because I got tons of splinters growing up. But it's like that, right? It's like that. It hurts to get the splinter in the first place. It hurts to get it. It hurts to heal, to try to heal yourself by taking it out. But once you do heal, you feel so much better. But that's what this person's trying to do here. And I feel like, understandably so, the Seven of Coins being what brought you two together is honestly trying to, is honestly finding a way to continue to build a relationship when it was hard to figure out where to even continue. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, there was a time that was needed for you guys to just kind of be on your own, which was why the High Priestess was there. And considering that you have given yourself the time to reevaluate, to think things through, to grow on your own time, to grow in your own space, I feel like that's why you guys were able to be to work things through, because you guys took the time out to really figure out what you guys wanted, or figure out what work needed to be done to improve the relationship. But the situation is this: the challenge is the Four of Wands, which is, I honestly feel like it's moving past this kind of situation of, hey, we're in a relationship, we're good, right? Which is not really how the Four of Wands should be seen. Four of Wands is reaching to a higher place of commitment, or getting to a higher, or not getting to a higher, or seeing, good progress in what you've been putting in. This is something turning out in a really good way, right? Something that's providing a stable platform for you to expand. That's what the Four of Wands is all about. To expand being the key word. Platform to expand, key phrase. Because the Four of Wands is a great place to celebrate and to be happy, but I feel like there may be this feeling like, I want to just stay here. I don't want to move forward. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to just stay. And when it comes to let go of control issues, I would see more of the Four of Wands being a platform for there to, for things to just want to stay that same way forever. And that can't be, because this is of course a time of celebration, but there's the platform is only meant to be there as a baseline for you to continue to move forward, to continue to grow, and to prosper in the relationship, or prosper in whatever you guys are getting involved in together. Not to stabilize, not to actually sit there and just be chill. So it's interesting to me, because considering the Eight of Cups is like knowing what you don't want, feeling emotionally drained with the situation, and looking towards your heart to kind of guide you towards where you do want to, what you do want to experience, what you do want to see, or even, the Eight of Cups is like, you're looking for that missing cup. You're looking for what your heart truly wants out of the cups that don't show you or don't display anything that you want. Nobody's angry, nobody's sad, but I think there is dissatisfaction that comes up here. And, you guys are emotionally drained because there's not much you can give to the relationship, because you're not, there's nothing in this relationship or in your situation right now that gives you the pleasure that you want to feel, or give you give you that feeling of the Ace of Cups that you want to feel, the Nine of Cups you want to feel. You're not content. So you're going to go and find it, and that is going to be a personal journey. Right? And it doesn't mean that you can't have it in this relationship. There may need to be a change of things. Which is why the Four of Wands is good, that you have a foundation with the person that you're with already. But but since you don't have what you want in this relationship, it's about finding it now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with this person here, but be sure to go ahead and pick the side that resonates with you guys the most. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here with this person with the Three of Wands in their mind space, right? So this is telling me already when they come into this relationship, they're coming into it with expectations. Okay. Now I was, with similar to Libra, that has somebody here on this side with the Three of Wands for Libra. And they're coming, like, for me, I read it a little differently, but this person, I feel like they're coming in with a bit more expectations. They're manifesting, they're taking the time. I think they understand that there's things that they have to prepare for, things they got to work on until, to get this thing to come into them, to return to them. They've set something out for it to return. But this person has expectations. They know exactly what to expect in regards to what they are manifesting. And I feel like with this person, they understand there's work that needs to be done, but they also are aware of that there's going to be a need for patience to be applied to this too. There's always personal work that this person can do. Right? There's always something personal work this person can do, which is why I said this person is preparing for the stuff that they've sent out to return. But this is patience here too, which is hard because, as you see with the Strength card, this is someone that's holding back. I always see Strength as somebody that's holding back, not in a sense of like, this person is trying to resist doing things that they would love to do, but no, this is controlling themselves to get the job done. Or somebody may be like, I don't want to do this, right? Think about it, right? Considering that Strength is usually used in a difficult situation, especially considering it's coming, from the spiritual plane, the Ten of Swords, it's just probably a very difficult situation. And when I say this person's controlling themselves to execute certain things, is that they're remaining strong, they're staying vigilant, and they're taking action on what they want, because they're realizing that if they just let their heart do whatever they want, they probably want to get a lot of stuff done, right? Because if you're in pain, well, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to cry, you want to go and eat some ice cream, right? You want to just watch TV, just kind of veg out, and just kind of not, just kind of like, not wallow in self-pity, but you want to just feel it, and you want to be doing what you want to do. You want to do the things that reflect how you feel. And a lot of times that's not the best way to deal with situations. If you're panicking, you're going to want to panic. But the strength in this is your inner strength, keeping you calm, keeping you steady, as difficult as it is and as hard as it is, keeping yourself under a certain kind of control that will help you push forward, right? Even if it's a dangerous situation and you're out in the wilderness with a bunch of lions around you, the last thing you want to do is freaking lose your mind. Because if you do that, that is not going to be conducive, which is an example of a dangerous situation. This is why this woman is so strong, because she controlled herself from reacting physically in the way that would cause alarm and get the lion to attack her. She came at it with peace and calm. She controlled and calmed herself by showing herself compassion, as well as remembering her power in the situation. She will not get bitten by that lion because she will not let that happen, because she won't do anything that will cause it to happen. You get what I'm saying? So this situation here, this person is having to control themselves, even though they would rather react a totally different way. This person is under a serious amount of control. They're very patient with the situation, and even though this is the situation is probably gone and done through, they're still, it's hard for them, because whatever they've gone through with this situation, whatever they've gone through with a previous situation that has nothing to do with this person at all, maybe it's still very telling that they're having to remain strong and tough, they're trying to overcome that difficult energy by focusing on themselves with the relationship as they wait in regards to this relationship. Now, for some of you guys may be at a distance in this relationship. Okay, because the Three of Wands can talk about looking out in this far distance, looking for your ship to return. So some of you guys may be at a distance here. But at the same time, you guys could be literally in each other's face. But there is some sort of level of patience that's being given here from this person. And it's because they're looking for improvement, and that's what they're waiting on. They're looking for things to get better, because it just hit the fan. Things just got, they're relinquishing control as much as they can with the situation, because they would love to just take the helm, but they have to be patient, because it's not going to help the situation if they just react in the way that they wanted to, right? So the other person showing up here with the Judgment card, they see this relationship as a total transformation, a totally different side of the story. Like either this relationship has shown them how much they've kind of gone through some seriously crazy stuff, how they've matured, how they've grown, how they've conquered some things in their life. This is this is a flashback for this person in a way, because in a really big one, because this person is recognizing and seeing how big of a step that they've taken in their own lives to get them to this point. Right? Because where they're coming from right now is the Six of Wands. Excuse me, the King of Wands. That is the matured version of the Knight of Wands that's showing up in their present moment right now. The King of Wands is that someone that's prideful. That's badly prideful. They're proud of everything that they've done. All of the things that they've experienced. Even the bad stuff, right? Even the stuff that may not have felt that great. But they're proud of it. They're true to how they feel. They're connected to how they feel. They only do what they want to do. Right? They're proud of the things that they've learned. They're proud of the people that they're surrounded with. This is why the card is loaned to Leo, or the Leo energy is loaned to the King of Wands, because this person is proud, and not proud in the sense of because I did everything, you should listen to me. You know, not that, I mean, they can be arrogant, they can be cocky, they can be, show-offs, but not because they care about what you think, but because they're proud of it and they love to see their stuff in their own eyes in the present moment, in the present time. That has nothing to do with other people, and it's beautiful. But this person is recognizing how much they have changed, how much they've adjusted, and this relationship is giving them a huge, review of how much they've adjusted. How much they've changed. Now, this person may have changed for the better, right? This person may have changed for the better for themselves. But how that is conducive to the relationship, maybe the person sees this person as immature, not seeing things from a certain perspective, not showing to be reliable, and perhaps even this person may be seen as someone that only does what they want to do and that's it. Very, very self-absorbed even. But how they see themselves, right? This person may be seeing themselves as, you know what? I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing it in the moment. I'm being true to who I am, because it may be in my past experience I wasn't doing that. Or perhaps I see where I could have been more, authentic to myself. Or you've become more aware of who you are, and this person's taking action on it, and it may look like somebody else is doing the thing. I feel like this person is enjoying their life a lot more. This person is free. This person is engulfed in freedom, and this is giving them a flashback, which is probably why, they're realizing that they have to, they're happy with being in the moment, because there's nothing that's tying them down. Not really, and not in the sense of oh my God, they don't see me as a person in the relationship. I don't think that's the case, because they have the Four of Wands coming up. Don't think that's the problem. Obviously, the reason why you can't claim this person or be in a relationship with this person is because they're happy with their freedom and they don't recognize this relationship. I think they do, but this person's totally in themselves at this moment, so they're not thinking about how this would impact the relationship. They're not thinking about being single, because I don't think that's how they see themselves. I think they see this situation as a transformative period where, of course, they have to adapt to the situation. They got to be true to who they are. They have to be, who they are regardless. And I feel like the transformation may be here because, this is going to help them with their confidence level too. Believe it or not. Because the King of Wands is a crazy confident. And so is Knight of Wands too. But usually the reason why I feel like the Knight of Wands to stick around and finish things out is because he doesn't really care to put the effort into it. It just burns him out. It gets boring. Therefore, he won't do it. And that doesn't have anything to do with confidence, actually. It's more of just they're confident enough to know that, they'll be fine if they don't finish it through. They don't follow through on it. It's weird. But it is what it is. But this is the card for you Sagittarius as well. Not saying that you guys are unreliable, because you guys can be the most reliable people ever. Something happens. Literally, my father's a Sag, and if anything happens, he'd be right there for me. He's reliable, and it has nothing to do with you guys being unreliable. The energy of the Knight of Wands that you guys loan is the knowledge, is the learning, is the doing things that you want to do, and that's it. Not, settling and dealing with things that are not pleasurable to you, that don't resonate with who you are. You don't deal with that. That's the part that really resonates with you, Saggies. The parts where you may be seen as unreliable is when you do say, I'm not going to do this because I'm not having this. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm not enjoying it. That's not a bad thing, though. A lot of people will just deal with stuff, even though they hate it to the absolute T, and be the most unhappy people ever. But that's why you guys are seen as the most optimistic, because you always see the better side of situations, and you know that everything has a better side to things. You know there's always a better experience. There's always experiences for you to learn from, but you don't dwell on stuff that don't work for you. You just say, I'm done with it. And you go and experience something new. That's a beautiful characteristic that other people are jealous of. And I feel like a lot of people are jealous of, and they don't feel like they can do that because they don't want to be seen as unreliable. But you don't give a crap about how other people think. You want to do things that you feel proud of. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, when it comes to this sort of behavior, you're living like this person. Well, I don't know who this is. This could be you, Sag. It doesn't have to be. This could be you right here. But this looks like this other person is living as if they're single. And this relationship is transformative because they're adjusting to being a King of Wands that is connected to someone. Because the King of Wands is married. Okay? King of Wands is married usually. Or there's somebody that's, connecting to them, right? And I feel like there's a lot of bachelor energy or bachelorette energy. And somebody's living in a way that they only want to live like pretty much like as if they're single. Somebody's living like they're single. So that, again, it's not considering the other person. Their way of life is very freeing, it's very them, it's very awesome, but they're only thinking of themselves. So this person may be waiting on you, or you're waiting on this person, and they're not considering you because they're just thinking of themselves. But they realize too, I think that when it comes to this relationship, it does change. It's changing them and showing them that they're not the single person anymore. The Knight of Pentacles is the Bachelor card. Excuse me, the Knight of Wands is the Bachelor card. This is the single, I'm free, that thing. But this person's in a relationship and they know this now. And they're changing this, which is hard. And I think this is why the Seven of Pentacles is here. Which is why everybody's like, well, if I gotta be patient and deal with all this BS, I don't know what do I need, why do I need, where's the value coming from this? I don't know if I want to change my style, my way of living. I don't know if this is something that I want to do. There's a lot of things that everybody's reconsidering and thinking, but that's what brought you two together, is to reconsider, is to think, is to figure out whether or not this is something that you feel is worth, adjusting to and continuing to manifest and to grow. And on top of that, you guys have been in a relationship before, I feel like. And when some of you guys, this is talking about a pre-existing relationship with some of you guys have been through so much in this relationship already, which is partially why you guys don't want to just split up. You guys want, let's make this work. Maybe you guys have a desire to make it work. But it's hard for you guys to get to a Four of Pentacles, get to some sort of agreement, get to a stable place, because both of you guys are wanting stuff to happen that you both are not willing to adjust to. Both of you guys are not happy. Both of you guys are not angry or pissed off, but you guys are not satisfied with this. Like, some of you guys this person may want more freedom. This person may want to, start getting something back for the things that they've been putting, for what they've been putting in. Maybe they want a more inclusive sort of dynamic rather than just feeling like they're just all alone, doing stuff on their own. So it's like, where's the compromise? The compromise is the releasing of the control that both parties have. And both parties are pretty strong individuals. Strength coming up here, King of Wands. It's huge. But in order for there to be anything regarding anybody giving anything, there has to be compromises. Giving and receiving. I don't know if this person's been giving, and I don't know if this is just you guys or someone else is on the other side receiving from you guys. Maybe because you Sagittarius, you guys have big hearts, right? So you guys will be giving things to people, because you love them, but you realizing that you be like on your own sometimes. Or, like I said, vice versa, depending on whichever side you resonate with. But there's a need to compromise, the relinquishing of control, not always having it your way or the highway. Allowing yourself to do something for someone else and then having the same treatment back, doing things for each other. It's hard to do. But I feel like at the same time, focusing on what you want, focusing on what you want, and it's hard because especially if you guys know what you want already and you haven't been able to like get that back or whatever, like it's hard. But I feel like if there's patience, if there's balance, I'm surprised Temperance didn't come up in this, then I feel like ultimately with the Seven of Coins, it's like honestly not just considering the other person, because the Seven of Pentacles is really talking about what work needs to be put in, and that work that needs to be put in is considering each other, considering how this would impact your foundation. Building blocks, see what I'm saying? That's how will it impact your foundation? The building blocks card comes up. This is work in progress, working and understanding each other through and through. Right? This person may be seen right now as somebody that's holding back, that's not expressing themselves, but they've gone through some serious stuff, probably with expressing themselves. So they need the patience and the love that's needed, and the support and the that they need to be able to be comfortable being themselves. But I don't think that this person's holding back. I think this person is waiting, and they're staying. There's being patient with it, and being strong, because they want to see the result of their efforts to be, they want to see that come in. They want to get to this Four of Wands. But this person's like realizing that, they've gone through some stuff, which is why they're reacting or acting the way that they are, and it may not be conducive to the future, which is why this is the call to action card too, where there's a decision that needs to be made. Right? If you want things to improve, if you want to have a Four of Wands situation with the person of interest, then there may be some things that you have, that's going to require a sacrifice or for you to change. And I think this person's looking like is resisting the change, right? To control issues, resisting the change here, because they don't want to lose their freedom. But they're always free. The King of Wands, even when he's in a relationship, he's always free. He's always himself. He's never changed. The Knight of Wands is just a matured version of the King of Wands, because he knows that in any and every situation, being a king of a kingdom or being a prince with no responsibilities, he's always going to be himself, and he will always have the ability and the power to do what he wants. And it's just about, you don't have to not contribute to the relationship, or you don't have to feel like you have to either, compromise yourself or not compromise yourself at all in order to build a foundation with somebody or build a relationship with somebody. You don't have to do that. And as a matter of fact, I would definitely advise against that. As a relationship coach, I would definitely advise against it, because that is not why the person got into a relationship with you. They got in a relationship with you, and you got a relationship with them because you guys connect. You guys connected by being yourself. You are beautiful, and that is why the person is with you, not because of what you can give them and what you can compromise of yourself. Not your personality, not your makeup, but maybe change the behavior. Change the, hey, I'm not doing this because, change the I'm single to, considering other people, and being inclusive in your gatherings, being, taking an opportunity to go do something that someone else wants to do. It's not going to change who you are to do something with someone else that they want to do, and it's not going to change this person to do what you want to do. But it's finding a balance, it's finding a harmony, it's finding the equal ground to be able to not only just conquer this part, but to conquer the next stuff.